I'm just going to go ahead and hit record.
We could obviously trim out the fat.
We can trim out the fat, absolutely. I got my little notes. Wow.
Little notes, little tiny little...
The more I do this, the more
notes.
the better I'm going to be at collecting notes. Because there are some things where I'll highlight and they're like, oh, it's him talking about like the currency exchange in his brain. Of being like, oh, it's like, I can associate this with this. Mm-hmm. And where I find that interesting, maybe somebody else doesn't.
What, the math?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no. Most people are going to be like, wow, I fucking hate math.
It's so dumb. I don't know. I love it.
When you add letters into numbers, that's when I'm like, bye. I don't want to be here.
No. Anyway, so I'm just going to be gushing about Campfire Cooking in Another World with my absurd skill. I will not call it that. I'm only ever going to refer to it as Campfire Cooking.
Mocha the best boy.
He is.
He's such a wholesome boy.
So, yeah. I mean, you already know the main character's name, Mokuda. Apparently his full name is Mokuda Tsuyoshi. That is his full name. It's as you imagine. It doesn't veer off of the anime too much, the light novel. It does just go right into him getting isekai'd, as well as the 3 other, like, high schoolers. And the 3 immediately be like, they get analyzed. And they're like, oh, wow, you have this impressive skill, and you have this impressive skill. And, of course, Mokuda has, like, online shopper, or whatever it's called. Oh, one thing that I don't know if they make that like really present in the anime. His title, instead of it being like hero from another world, it's victim from another world.
That's weird.
They literally use the terminology victim.
Victim from another... I mean... Yeah, you know what? That's accurate. Seeing where he was before he got... isekai. The poor guy.
And it's so I love how Japan always is like, it's like, oh, I'm so old now. He's 27. It's like how I go, man, I feel old, and then you and Phoenix will be like, shut up. Shut up, dog. Oh no. Yeah, it does the usual thing where the kingdom that they get isekai'd into is super not trustworthy. Mm-hmm. Like immediately right out the gate, he like looks at the king and he's the picture definition of a fat cat.
Oh yeah.
With like this bulging belly and these locks of hair, and then he's got like a fistful of rings, and it's just like, oh wow, is your kingdom really in danger from the demon race up north and stuff like that? It's like, you're living in the lap of luxury. There's no way. So he looks around the room, he analyzes all that, and he's like, I need to get out of here. And so he does. Like he manages to convince them. And was like, okay, well, I'm not going to be of any help to you guys fighting the demons. They kind of cut him loose, and then
he's useless.
Oh man, I love that. I love that whenever stuff like this happens, they're still in their old clothes. They don't get like, oh, it's like, here's a new set of fantasy clothes. Mm-hmm. Like he's in a 2-piece business suit with with a briefcase and a tie, and he's walking down the street, be like, okay, I need to get out of this place, and everybody's giving him the side eye, and he's like, okay, well, I should probably not draw attention to myself.
I feel like just as another head up, whatever the heck you want to call it. This is interesting to listen to because I've only watched the anime.
Yeah.
I haven't read the manga nor the book. Actually, you know what? No, that's a lie. I've read a little bit of the manga, but I have only watched the anime all the way through this first season. Mm-hmm. So this is interesting.
So what ends up happening is, I don't know if they really nailed this in the anime, but he does go like talk to some orphans, and it's just like, hey kids, what's like, I'm kind of new in town. It was like, can you like tell me where a good place to eat is, where a good place to like lay my head, stuff like that. And they're like, yeah, it's like we can help you out. And he buys them some like meat skewers and stuff like that, and they're willing to help him out with stuff like that. He is immediately told that they are war orphans. Their parents had died in the effort against the demons. And it was like, yeah, it's like our military was sent to go attack them. And it was like, wait. So you're not being attacked by the demons. You're going to attack the demon. It's like, yeah, that's what we're doing. And he's like, yeah, this place is awful. and so they go ahead and they let him know like how money kind of works, and he does the calculation in his head of like, like, oh well, like 10 yen equals like a small copper piece or whatever. And then he becomes aware of the Merchants Guild and the Adventurers Guild, and he's like, okay, well, I'm gonna try to become part of both of them, and I need to do whatever I need to do to get out of here. And he immediately spends, when they kicked him out, they gave him like a fistful of gold, like, which is pretty good, honestly. I think they gave him like 20 gold coins, and he immediately spends 8 of them like doing the job posting of like, I was like, can somebody get me out of here? And then that's when he runs into, I didn't write down their name, but I think they're Team Iron Will. I think that's what they're called. And they're a pretty like well-balanced like party of adventurers. They end up like, kind of leaving town, and they agree to this even though they didn't think the pay would be that good. The only reason they kind of agreed to go with him was because he posted he would take care of meals. And he kind of has a pretty good amount of confidence in himself to cook really well. So he's like, okay, well, I mean, I'll cook for you guys if you guard me while we try to hop town. And they're like, yeah, well, we're also trying to hop town. And honestly, like, that's kind of where chapter 1 ends. Like, it's very just front loading a lot of information on like what's happening with like the current geopolitical climate. And then everybody in town just being like, it's like, okay, well, like carriages are not working anymore. And it was just like nobody's allowed to leave town via carriage because like the king has put like a stop to all that stuff because, well, everybody can kind of see the writing on the wall that, if you don't hop town, you're going to be drafted into the war. Even the adventurers are like, we're gone. We needed to, even though 8 gold coins wasn't like a good enough pay for us to take on this adventure, we were already going to hop town. And we're getting our meals prepped, which is, it's like, we'll take it. We'll risk our necks for 8 gold. So they find themselves in the woods, and it's getting kind of late. Mokuda goes and he makes dinner, and of course, like, he makes some ridiculous modern day Japan meal. They chow down on it, and like it's the best thing they've ever eaten, because it probably is, honestly. And yeah, like I said, that's basically where chapter 1 ends. We don't even really get introduced to like Fell until chapter 2. I imagine like that's the bulk of chapter 2.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's it. Bada boom.